It's time now to introduce the competitors in the 1978 Grand Final Mile. We'll go in club alphabetical order. And first of all, from Carlton, we have number 35, Peter Halsall, and number 4, Vin Catoggio. From Collingwood, Wayne Gordon and Ted Carroll. From Essendon, and remember they won it last year with Andy Wilson, we have Wayne Primmer and Shane Hurd. Fitzroy are represented by Brian Brown and Michael Conlon. Footscray have their representatives Doug Hawkins and Richard Murray. Geelong have Tom Floyd, number 37, and Jeff Ferring, number 25. There's no starter from Hawthorn because both their teams involved in today's matches. Melbourne have 36, Gary Cook, and 24, Kelvin Richards. And North Melbourne represented by Crackers Keenan. Richmond have Gary Parks and Bruce Tempany. South Melbourne, Philip Plum and Paul Morwood. And finally St Kilda, Doug Booth and Dale Evans. The runners will be up on their marks in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, a very special guest is with us today, and we'd like you to give her a VFL Grand Final welcome, the only world record breaker at the recent Commonwealth Games. Would you welcome Tracy Wickham? I think we'd like just a quick word from Tracy. What's it like on Grand Final Day?
This is unreal. I really enjoyed it so far.
Congratulations for your efforts. Would you like to present the medals for the winner a little bit later on?
I'd love to, thank you.
Tracy Wickham, who was flown here especially for the day by TAA. Tracy, great to have you with us. The mile run today, conducted by the Victorian Athletic League. The runners will be set to go in just a few moments.
This telecast is made possible for the people of Victoria by Just Jeans and Carlton and United Breweries.
Just about set to go. 4 laps of the arena. And away they go, and it's a pretty good charge too for the first quarter, with Morwood of South Melbourne leading them out of the first straight, and Doug Booth of St Kilda making an early lead to try and get up to the front as they go down the back straight. And Doug Booth has done just that from Cook of Melbourne. Going around them is Ferring of Geelong, but it's Doug Booth showing a pretty clean pair of heels from Ferring, Cook, Morwood. Then we have Bruce Tempany of Richmond, Plum of South Melbourne, Murray of Footscray, Carroll of Collingwood, Shane Hurd of Essendon making a move, Richards of Melbourne, Hawkins of Footscray, Primmer of Essendon, Brown of Fitzroy, Ferring of Geelong, and going right back through the field, last of all, is Crackers Keenan. They've done about 3/4 of a lap now, and it's still Doug Booth of St Kilda, who I understand has been training very, very hard for this race. Doug Booth leading them up to the tape for the first time, coming down the main straight now. Doug Booth and Gary Cook of Melbourne in second place, but it's Doug Booth round the first turn. And he's got a break of about 4 or 5 metres now. He's running very well indeed. The time, 1:05 for the first lap. Then we have Cook, followed by Ferring, Morwood of South Melbourne is still there from Shane Hurd. Bruce Temperley making a move, and they're strung out now like Brown's cows. Halsall of Carlton is also there in the middle of the field. Carroll of Collingwood, Plum of South Melbourne. Going forward is Murray of Footscray. Then we have Richards of Melbourne, Brian Brown of Fitzroy, Primer of Essendon, Hawkins of Footscray, Condon of Fitzroy, Ferring of Geelong, Katoggio of Carlton, Dale Evans of St Kilda, and last of all is Crackers Keenan. 1 3/4 laps gone, and Doug Booth has spread eagle the field. He's doing a real Ron Clark effort here. Doug Booth, obviously superbly trained down at St Kilda by Terry Moore, and he's got a break of some 35 metres on the rest of the field, and we could mention that he's halfway to winning $1,000. 500 goes to the second place getter and 300 goes to the third place getter in the Avis Grand Final Mile. The time for the second lap, 1 minute 10 seconds. That's after a 1:05 first lap. The halfway mark is gone. Can Doug Booth hang on? Coming second is Gary Cook of Melbourne. He's been going pretty nicely there in second place so far throughout most of the race. Hurd of Essendon now lying in third place. Bruce Temperley of Richmond has moved up through the field. Then we have Morwood of South Melbourne, Murray of Footscray, Ferring of Geelong, Hawkins of Footscray, Primer of Essendon, Richards of Melbourne, Brown. Just behind him is Carroll of Collingwood, Plum of South Melbourne, Katoggio of Carlton, Halsall of Carlton, Condon of Fitzroy, Evans of St Kilda, and last of all is Crackers Keenan, who is still whipping them in. We come back through the back turn now. Well, the rest of the field does. That's Doug Booth coming up for the bell lap now. A tremendous effort from this St Kilda player. There's the bell now, and Booth taps on the pace. I think he can feel the Avis $1,000 already in his pocket, and this is a very good run. It's 1:06 for the third lap. That's after 1:05 and 1:10. But Doug Booth, I would say at this stage, has already got the Avis Grand Final Mile won. It's Richard Murray now going into second place from Cook of Melbourne and Temperley of Richmond. It's going to be a very good race for second. I think we'll concentrate on that at the moment with Doug Booth well and truly doing it well. Murray from Cook, Temperley and Hurd, and then follows Hawkins of Footscray, and we'll forget the rest, and bringing up the rear Crackers Keenan. But down the back straight, it's Doug Booth. A tremendous effort from him, as I said, trained superbly down at St Kilda by Terry Moore. And Doug is carting them along at a very good pace, and I'll be interested to get the time at the finish. It's pretty close for a second down the back straight, but here comes Doug Booth. He's almost lapped the last competitor. That's Crackers Keenan. But here he comes out. And Crackers is not last. He's gone past Jeff Ferring, but Doug Booth, a magnificent win, straight at the opposition. Let's see who's going to get up to second. It's going to be... Well, Essendon took it out last year with Andy Wilson, and Shane Hurd coming in for second this time. Shane Hurd second, and Gary Cook will be third. The overall time, 4 minutes 12. And a big hand for Tracy Wickham. Thank you, Tracy.
Well, okay, there we see the winner of the mile, the Avis Mile of $1,000, and that goes to Doug Booth of St Kilda. A great run, and I think he ran the distance in 4:12, which I think with a bit of training could be a 4-minute miler without any worry.
If that time's right, Louis, he won't get much of a start on it if he runs professionally.
No, I'd say he wouldn't. And of course, to the young boy from Eston, Shane Hurd, he got $500 from Avis for running second, and Gary Cook of Melbourne receives the third prize. I'm not quite sure what that amount was, but it's a pretty substantial, I think about $200 from Avis. A great run by Doug Booth of St Kilda. And of course,